Hello and welcome. This is going to be a reading for Taurus. So, as I've done in the past, one other time, I have taken a bunch of note cards and drawn a sign of the zodiac on the backs of each one and then blindly taken these, done a little bit of channeling, specifically intended for love and money, and written down some impressions and symbols here and phrases that hopefully will add to the reading. Then we've got a number of oracle cards, and we're going to get a little bit of some Akashic tarot laid out in a moment here. So let's get started. Beautiful. Okay, so starting out in the messages, was getting a very loving, subtle, soft energy with a light pale pink and a light gray, almost like clouds, smoke, confusing, something to do with love and family. There was a very serious tone, stoic, something about a dead stare into the distance, going gray rock on someone, possibly. Difficult choices, doing the difficult or making the impossible possible, inner ferocity, determination, deserving better days, pouring out a cup or a bottle, could be something to do with recovery, sobering up, having a sobering moment or some type of near miss experience, closing one's heart to plea bargaining and tears and tearful displays, being the change maker in a situation, withdrawing money, support, or any enabling behavior, and protecting one's assets. There's something coming up about a bill or some type of financial thing where there is the need to pay for some type of mistake or oversight here. It doesn't have to be a big one. It could be something quite small, such as I know recently that with my daughter, she was in charge of getting herself registered for something and didn't follow through and hit all the buttons. And so there was another non-refundable entry fee that we had to pay. It was not a lot, but it was still something going on. So it could be something quite simple. Excuse me a moment. But these lessons are helping different individuals, excuse me again, to have lessons of autonomy, doing things for themselves, and when is it correct or appropriate to ask for help or for somebody to look over something before we submit it. Could be some lessons being learned in that regard. And then I'm feeling this energy of a heavy sigh, gentle nudges, and giving other individuals a number of chances or choices, setting a high bar, modeling better choices, taking leadership or new roles in some way, making bold moves, setting a firm foundation. Actually, it's plural, firm foundations. So maybe you're working in multiple directions at once. Some type of delayed gratification here where you're making choices not dependent about things in the moment, like yeah, I want that ice cream, it's going to taste so good, but I'm lactose intolerant. So delaying the gratification might look like, well, here all they have is dairy ice cream, and knowing that that's going to create pain later, opting to be patient to wait until there's an ice cream that won't create some type of horrible outcome, right? So delayed gratification can also relate to that recovery here, where it's like the simple, easy thing isn't always the thing that is the best option over the long term. Support systems or feeling the lack thereof, and seeking to fill those gaps. Perhaps you're also looking for funding or for other co-creators to invest in something that is near and dear to your heart, or could be looking for buy-in from your loved ones into the family, into some type of mutual endeavor that everyone benefits from, asking for individuals to invest in that. It's like that whole, is it, who's going to help me make, or who's going to help me gather the wheat? Who's going to help me thrash the wheat? Who's going to help me gather it and pound it into flour? There's this old story that goes on, and everybody's like, not me, not me. And then all of a sudden it's like time to eat the pie. And she's like, who's going to help me eat this pie? And everybody's like, oh, me. And she's like, I'm not so sure I want to share now. Nobody had any time to share. Everybody had plenty of time to go out and do their own endeavors. But now that I've made this pie, now everybody has time to come in, and so that can definitely be something around home and family for you. So, hummingbird miracles stepping forward for you. Beautiful, beautiful card. One of my favorites. Could potentially be some interactions with the subtle realms, your guides, guardians, loved ones in spirit. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. So I'm sensing here a couple different things. So, yeah, you are the joy bringer, and you are a joy to be around. But since maybe you have everything handled and you always seem so upbeat, people don't understand all of the intricate efforts and maybe sleepless nights or long hours that you've put into both healing your mind, body, spirit, and and working to push for successful outcomes. And that takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of skill honing. It takes a lot of self belief. And, maybe some people have this supportive, born in confidence, but many people that come out and appear to be confident, that's a result of daily efforts, moment to moment efforts. And so the secondary part of that message is that you're so beautiful and subtle that perhaps it's easy for some individuals to take you quite for granted, that you're always going to be there, always going to be bringing joy. And suddenly there's this confusion where you take on this serious tone and you withdraw your joy bringing from other individuals. It's like, you know you got no more F's to give in some type of a way, or maybe you're feeling depleted, like, I'm going to eat my own stinking pie by myself, or something. And I don't mean that like being selfish or stubborn or anything. I think that if you're in this energy, you understand that it's like, don't sit here and try to jump on the train of my successes and show around pictures of my creations as though it belongs to you. There's something here that's the investment, and the outcomes are in large part due to you, and you're recognizing that others are just really overlooking the fact that this takes a lot of your time, energy, and attention. And these feelings of being taken for granted are coming forward in a big way here. So the next oracle card is 37. Look beyond the surface. Avoid becoming distracted by those surface issues, such as we're talking about. Focus on the underlying motivation, cause, or the beauty in a situation. Seek ways to bring depth to your world. So I believe that might be a humpback whale. Maybe you guys know better than myself. But there's something about that they breathe air, but they really dive deeply into the emotional, psychic realms here. And perhaps not everybody wants to thrash the wheat and pound the flour. Maybe that's something that you really do. And everybody enjoys eating pie. But this, again, just a symbol. but maybe there are other things that can be delegated and appropriated to the different individuals. If they're not going to do this, there is certainly more that can be done to alleviate some of the pressures. Like maybe somebody can carry the water, maybe somebody can split the wood for the fire that's going to heat the ovens to cook the pie, if you catch my meaning. But there's definitely somebody is sad that they won't be eating pie. Let's move along. 14, single-mindedness. Choose your own path and what is best suited to you. So maybe there's something here that you're taking part in, like you're like, well, I don't like pounding that flour out either. Well, maybe in this situation you're being told that something you're engaging in, that you are maybe seeking others to help because it's something that does create a time constraint or obligates you in some manner. If it can't be delegated, it might need to be simplified in some other type of a way. And looking into the motivations and what are we really trying to do with, again, making that pie? What is the benefit? And doing the cost benefit analysis of what does it cost you in personal to hold those grudges. And perhaps I was talking about this with somebody recently about when you know that you are going to be the only one that's going to clean up the kitchen after the pie, and then doing little things like, I know I've indulged in this, not everybody does, but in the situation of giving chances and choices, was that not part of this here? A number of chances and choices and gentle nudges. There may be a bit of uh, not nagging energy, but because of not wanting to continue to ask and beg ourselves, then being quiet about it and, leaving something out to see, will anybody take care of that? It's clearly there's this piece of trash on the counter. How many days will it sit before somebody moves that off the counter? Because I've heard the excuse before too in my own personal world, like, oh, well, I didn't know what you wanted to do with that wrapper. I wasn't going to frame it. And so I know that I know I'm not the only one that has done something like that, like leaving something to see what will be the response. Will people continue to look over it? And or also like, boy, I really wish we could do something fun. And then, then somebody just clicking on the tube again or something, the TV, or getting on their phone. Yeah, that'd be great. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Crickets. There's something here that is like choosing your own path, and what's best suited to you is like what's going to make you happy. And maybe it's not asking somebody else to join in with you, but seeking those individuals who are of like mind, so that there is that, see this throng of, I don't know what they are. I'm hearing herring, but I'm not sure that's what they are, some silver something. And they all travel in these big droves, and they kind of swarm and they go in their little artsy designs. And I saw them, I think it's the fish that's depicted in Finding Nemo, where they all kind of come together and they start making fun of the big fish, like blah 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 blah. It's a funny thing. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but those fish, they act as a unit, and there's some type of surface level either disharmony or disunity that's creating different people going different directions. And part of this that is in your own hands is when you want to do something fun, seeking it out and doing it, and not waiting for other people to come along with you, but going out and gifting yourself something that is fun and supportive to your own self, modeling those better choices for others. Maybe then they can't keep saying, oh, well, I do that, but you always have these bad ideas, so I just get on my phone type of a thing. This isn't my realistic situation. I'm just giving examples here, folks. But so that somebody has to really look at themselves and say, oh, well, I don't want to sit here and scroll either. You're going out and doing something fun. What should I do with my time? And maybe you're a hard worker and somebody else is just sitting there and checked out and all day long just kind of being, like the summer slump. Now this one coming forward, like for instance, my daughter is off of school for the summer, and she's in that adolescent stage where, given her own devices, left to her own devices, literally her phone and so on, she'll be on electronics. She will, do her chores, but then as soon as it's done, she's like right back onto those devices, and it's an unhealthy behavior. But to what extent are we really being a leader, an example of what's better for choices, and really investing themselves in ourselves? And to what level are we being more martyred and heroic and still not investing in what we really would enjoy for ourselves? Let them see you have some success and some personal pride and making new connections and being excited and happy and inspired. Don't be misled by, again, those surface level issues. When fear speaks, it's always wrong unless it's being chased by wildebeests. And when love speaks, it's always right and usually bouncy. Game on, the universe. So there's some type of a way that we can uh, gain some type of buy-in or shift the dynamic of some situation and create some unexpected miracles with this impossible becoming the possible. Love is never in vain. When you finally see what this whole time space thing is all about, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, and you're going to be so, 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 so happy that you loved as much as you did, dotingly, the universe. So, yeah, don't let yourself feel unloved in this circumstance. There's something here that you are in a great position because of your time and attention and your longing for better or more respect or something else, to really model that for yourself, holding that deep honor and respect for yourself, holding your objective sacred. Let's see what Akashic Tarot has to say for you. We'll take that one and these two. First out, Eight of Forces, the lightning bolt, bam. It's like that's that dead stare and that withdrawal and the perhaps reinvestment in your own self, hitting somebody perhaps like a ton of bricks. And this whole plea bargaining and tears, it's like some type of life altering declaration, perhaps, or insight that you are calling out on somebody to really illuminate the situation and really call things out. And maybe there's an ultimatum or some type of admonition. Is that what you say? Is that the right word? That's coming forward. Archangel Gabriel, yes. Okay. Archangel Gabriel, number 3, is the angel that has to do with judgment, with declarations. He's the one that shows up on Judgment Day and blows the horn to call all of the worthy forward and to resurrect the spirit from the below and to call us back into the eternal light and love, if you will. And take these symbolically if you need. And then we have Six of Roses, the War of the Roses, with that family infighting, conflict energy, something that has deteriorated. And you are calling things out and being this lightning bolt, like I say, I'm eating my own pie. I asked you to help. I asked you to carry water. I asked you to chop the wood. And I had to do everything myself. And so you guys can go eat potatoes. Underneath the deck, hilarious, I'm hearing. And it's like we're being guided to, I'm hearing enable, but that's not the word that I was intending. It's the understanding that you can only lead the horse to water, you can't make it drink. And so there's something here about being wise, being the old soul, the sage, trying to impart some difficult lessons for our loved ones, and having to withhold our blessings that we've worked really, really hard for, so that others have to get up and create their own blessings. I know that we're not going to necessarily cut off our underage children from blessings and play mental mind games with them. That's not the kind of energy that I'm sensing, although some of the words that I've been saying kind of sound along those lines. So it's a slippery slope, right? But here we have on track, one of scrolls. There may be somebody here that needs to pack up and head out and get to work, or to leave something behind. And it could be like an adult child that needs to make their own way, to create their own destiny instead of relying upon you for that. And it's an ace of scrolls, which is the ace of swords. It's some type of truth, honor, justice. It's a yes if you're asking some type of a question. There is a yes answer about getting things back on track, a return to unity in that way. Let's do two more. I'll take that bottom one. Okay, the bottom two. Initiation of the Count Saint Germain 14 with the Akashic Library. Both of these just came out in the first preceding reading for Capricorn. I don't know if you have Capricorn heavily in your chart, or if a Capricorn is part of your family dynamic, or, general reading. This can obviously have much to do with workplace or any type of other dynamics that you're engaged in. But there's definitely a rebalancing. And then I'm seeing the Adsum card in Fated Meeting, and Two of Keys is the Treasure. Okay, this is a little bit more. So balance, creating order, balance, cleanup, and getting things straightened up with this. It looks like almost like a insight, or like, like this I'm eating my own pie thing that keeps coming out. It's kind of a silly, perhaps hilarious idea of doing something and really pushing the point that this is your success, right? But so on the other end, we do have 7, Fated Meeting, with then the Treasure card here. And I'm sensing with this Two of Keys, the Two of Coins, the Treasure, it looks like he's been ransacked here. So this could definitely be you, like, looking around at your environment and being like, okay, I just spent all this time at work, and then I come home, the house is destroyed, and I've also have this expectation that I don't want to live in an untidy environment. So I feel obligated to create a clean environment. And it's like either the kids ransacking the place, or friends, family, a gathering, and then like having to do all the cleanup yourself as well here, and needing to balance how that brings different energies to your attention, and being able to juggle all of the demands on your time, and then also to understand, it's like that whole feeling of not allowing others to walk on the white carpet of your soul and your heart and your emotional delicacy with their muddy, dirty feet. It's like you don't walk into a stranger's house with your dirty, muddy shoes. But it feels that way when somebody leaves their things all around, and when all of your things are being dug up and looked at, and what's yours is everyone's. And it's like getting beyond that. There's something here when you start to clean up this messy situation here in whatever way, and perhaps having somebody to really work on getting straight and giving this big truth to somebody, getting them back on track, getting yourself back on track, getting the house back in order, balancing the ledgers and the scales of equal give and take, equal investment equals reward, and listening to your guidance in how to do that with a loving heart, because love is never in vain. And so even if we need to call this to people's attention, that lightning bolt can be in a humorous, playful way, and it doesn't need to be sarcastically humorous. But if somebody's tossing your treasure all over the place and you've kept something really nice, then you deserve to have that put back the way it was. All right, your reading is already a little bit longer than the previous reading, so let's cut this off now. And I hope that that all makes sense. You're really making a judgment call. You're working with your guides and with all of the information that has come through you and to you to rebalance the scales in some way, so that you're not outlaying all of your resources, having them all spent up, and at the end of the day coming back empty handed and then having to clean it up in addition to that. So I hope that you don't feel that that's a negative message for yourself. I just want to remind you that we have this miracle, this hummingbird energy. You are that miracle here. And with single minded focus on what you do want, this fated meeting can really come back together. And so if you've got to clear out that energy, clean up after something, take note of that next level respect and love that you're calling into your world in powerful form in the coming time. So take care of yourself, and until next time, Taurus.